Peace, peace, beloveds. It's Tamara Garcia with Akasha Divination. And today, my thoughts and what we're going to discuss is going to be living your life by design and not by default. That is the topic of today. Living your life not by default, but by design. So many times we are constantly, whether conscious of it or not conscious of it, we live our life by default. What do I mean by default? We continue to live this life, waking up in the morning, complaining about what's going on, this and that. I can't get a good relationship. Nothing is ever working out, blah, 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 blah. That's all I ever hear is blah, 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 blah. That's just how I see it. There is no control over your life. Nothing that you need ever is on the exterior of yourself. Every single thing that you need is within. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you've spoken about it, but are we truly living our lives by design? Now, how do we live our life by design and not by default? Good question. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that you do? I don't know what it is that you do. It's just a question that you need to ask yourself. What is the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning? Do you automatically just get up? Do you start brushing your teeth? Do you start, figuring out what it is that you're going to eat for breakfast? Do you start getting into arguments? Do you start already automatically hating the fact that you have to get up and go to work? What are your thoughts when you first wake up in the morning? You can start there. Another thing would be, what are your thoughts throughout the day? What are you thinking throughout the day? You have to get your mind right. You have to get your thoughts right. Living your life by design is waking up in the morning, looking at your vision board. If you have to have an orgasm to be able to expand and expound and ascend that energy, and to use that powerful, sensual, sexual energy in order to feel a certain type of way and to make you happy and blissful, do it. I do. It's important that we do that. It's important that you get in tune and use that energy that we've been so blessed with to create. I think so many times we just completely disregard the powers that we have. You know what I'm saying? Do you light an incense, and do you go around saging your home, and do you go around holding your crystals and instilling just positive energy within them? Invoking your thoughts, invoking your reality that you desire. You have to realize that you're the magician. You are the center of the earth, the center of your earth. And you create every single thing in your cipher. You have to start living your life by design and not by default. You can create, and you have created now. Don't get me wrong. You've already created, and you're creating every single day. But you have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm creating? You create your supervisor, you create your relationships, you create yourself. So it's a matter of transforming your DNA, transforming what you have been programmed with, and reactivating the DNA that's within you and to transform it. You have the power to do that. And by doing that, it's about invoking within you positive thoughts, positive affirmations, tapping into the Akashic records. How can you do that? By grounding yourself. And I'll do a video about how to tap into your Akashic records, because I think so many times we want to find a therapist, which is broken down as the rapist, who instills certain things within your mind that make you believe a certain type of thing. You have to stop finding the answers outside of yourself. Ask your higher self. Go deep within. Leave this body for a minute and travel and ask yourself, the higher self, what is it that you need to know? Who am I supposed to be? What is my purpose? I've done a video about this many times. You have to ask yourself the questions. Who am I? What is my purpose? And why am I here? We're not just slumbering in this life waiting for a transition to come. We have work to do. And, we've chosen to come here to be able to do that work. But I think we've just kind of gotten so caught up in the things of this exterior life that we've forgotten our powers. So being able to truly look within yourself and to be able to ask yourselves the questions. You know what I'm saying? Nothing exterior is ever going to satisfy you. Nothing. It may satisfy you for a minute and you may think that you're being satisfied, but truly you're not. You're only satisfying this exterior. There's so much more to you than just that. So, part of what I could say for you to do to live your life by design and not by default is to spend the energy on self, nurture self, love self, embrace self, really tapping into self. I know a lot of us want to be liked and look a certain way and prove that we're this and prove that we're that. But in the long run, the only thing that really matters is the love that you've given yourself and the ascension that you have allowed yourself to obtain. I mean, that's really where it's at, so it's important if you want a certain job, while you're here in this land, or you want a certain vehicle, or you want a certain type of love in your life, you got to create it. And not just create it, but you got to be it first. And by being it first is being the thought. I'll say it over and over again. Everything that you're experiencing came from a thought. You planted the seed, you watered it, and now it's here, it's blossomed. You created that. Everything around you is your reflection, it's your mirror. And, you have the power to transform it into something else. That's the beauty of this life. What you're seeing right now is not set in stone. It's changeable, it's transmutable. That's the beauty of our power. Right now, what you're experiencing, you don't have to experience that. So many people are experiencing car accidents and this and that. I don't like to focus on those things. You understand what I'm saying. I don't like to focus on those. To me, they're illusions. They don't exist. You create your own reality. What I'm here to do is to teach you how to transform it, to show you how to transform it. Transformation is a beautiful process. I always pay attention to the metamorphosis process of a caterpillar to a butterfly, which is why I have this tattoo. It reminds me every single day of where I've been and where I'm at and where I'm going. I've been through some stuff, been through some serious things, and you would never even know. But now, I've grounded my feet in the soil of earth. I've allowed it to maneuver itself all the way up. And as my feet are planted, the lotus flower sits right on top and opens up its petals. And while I'm going through the mire, and while I'm going through the mud, and while my vision at times may be clouded by the mire, I can always feel my feet grounded, and I can always feel my crown opening up. That's my sight. As I mentioned before, everything else is a distraction. Everything else is to take you away from what is real. Right now, you're in a dream. This is a dream within a dream. We're living dreams within dreams within dreams. So living your life by design and not by default. You don't have to continue on what it is that you're experiencing now that has you in a rut or a certain type of low vibration. You can climb up. Climb it. Climb over it. Don't make it an obstacle. Make it your stepping stone to a greater and new you. When you walk around every day, don't focus on the negative things. Or as I would like to say, don't focus on the low vibrating things. Focus on your higher self. Ask yourself, what this feeling that I'm feeling right now that's making me feel some type of way. I call upon my higher self to transform this energy into something that feels blissful, divine. Somebody tells you, watch your conversations with people. Don't let them feed you certain types of things. Don't let their words enter into you. Transform their words into something blissful, that feels good, that ascends you. You can transform it. Don't live this life thinking you don't have control. You have control over everything. And it all starts with a thought. It all starts with a feeling. The thought first, then its vibration behind it. Behind the vibration is the intent. I've experienced many things in this life. What I thought was to be beauty wasn't beauty at all. What I thought to be love was not love at all. What I thought to be blissful was not blissful at all. I used those words in vain because now, at this moment, I'm entering what the words truly mean, the vibration behind them. I'm the designer. Every day I wake up with an empty canvas. Every day I wake up with a new page. I decide what I want to write. I decide what I want to paint. And I decide what I want to animate by giving it attention, the love that it needs. I'm the designer. I live my life through design and not by default, no longer. The simplicity of life is where the answers are. There's no need for the chaos and the big this and the big that. Live through simplicity. Ask your higher self all the questions that you need. It's going to give you the answers. And don't hesitate. Let me tell you something what happened to me yesterday. I'm going to give you an example. And I'm sure many of you have probably experienced this, okay? So yesterday, well, I've been on my moon cycle. I actually started on the new moon, which I'm usually in tune with. I'm always thankful for that too, as always it gives me the message, my confirmations that I'm on the right track. So I decided to go and go to the movies yesterday. I love the movies. I always treat myself to the movies. I'm on my moon cycle. Just recently changed to make sure that I was fresh and clean. I get in the car, and as soon as I shut the door, I hear the voice. Go inside and get what you need and put it inside your bag. Carry it with you. Heard it loud and clear. You think I listened? Nah. I was anxious to go to the movies. So I'm like, man, I'm going to be good. What are you talking about? Get to the movies, pay, get inside, sit down. I'm early. I like to be early. All of a sudden, I start to feel this warm sensation. I'm just like, man, you serious right now? Who does this, right? Sure enough, I get up and I go to the ladies' restroom. Yep. And so, it just goes to show that it's important that you listen to the first instinct, to the first thought that comes into your mind. Listen to it. When you hear the voices, listen to them. They're your guide. They are your guide. But we hesitate. We sit back, we hesitate. Nah, then the mind starts kicking in. Nah, I don't need this. I don't need it. You do listen to the first thoughts. If I would have just listened and went back and got what I needed and took it with me to the movies, I would have been straight, but I had absolutely nothing. So, now I have to leave, go get what I need to take care of, and just come back and miss a little bit of it. It's all good. You make do with what you got. But still, that's just an example that you got to listen to the words that come into your mind, and don't hesitate. Like it's your guide. I say this all the time. It's your guide. So, I think sometimes we take that stuff for granted where we really don't, listen to ourselves. We want to hesitate. And we can't be doing that. We have our voices that leads us. And it tells us what we need, and at moments we put ourselves in situations that don't even need to be a situation because we didn't want to listen. So like I said, we're beyond this physical vessel. We have so much more to give and to receive. And when you start to realize that everything that you create is something that you got power over, and something that you don't have to live by default and live in the so-called miseries that you keep complaining about every single day. Live in happiness. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Sing that every single day. Be in love with yourself. Dance if you have to. Change the energy. Change the vibration. You don't got to be angry and upset. I go through mine. Believe me, I go through mine. But I always got to pick my ass right back up. Remember who I am. What's my purpose? So I love you guys. Just wanted to share this with you. And if you guys need assistance, you know where to find me. You can reach out to me at www.akashadivination.com. I definitely want to start tapping into the feminine energy of things because, as I say always, we give birth to everything. And it's okay to have standards. It's okay to raise the bar because in order for us to do that, that's how we raise other people. We got to ascend. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys decide that you need assistance in whatever way, you can find my services there at www.akashadivination.com, or you can check me out on Facebook, obviously under Akasha Divination. And I want to start getting some workshops and stuff going too, and that's soon to come. So I love you guys. Peace. Be still. Always give love and remain in the highest vibration. Namaste.